fear you don't face becomes your limitation. A soul's journey through fear and growth. Fear is a fundamental aspect of the human experience, often perceived as a negative emotion to be avoided or suppressed. However, fear can also be viewed as a crucial teacher on the path of personal and spiritual growth. The statement, "the fear you don't face becomes your limitation," suggests that unaddressed fears can hinder our progress and restrict our potential. This topic delves into the nature of fear, the role it plays in our spiritual journey, and how confronting our fears can lead to profound growth and transformation. Understanding fear from a spiritual perspective. From a spiritual standpoint, fear is more than just an emotion. It is a signal from the soul indicating areas where we are out of alignment with our true self. Fear arises when we perceive a threat to our survival, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual. In many spiritual traditions, fear is seen as a manifestation of the ego, which seeks to protect us from perceived dangers but often does so by creating limitations and barriers. The soul, on the other hand, is boundless and inherently fearless. It seeks growth, expansion, and the experience of all aspects of life, including those that the ego might label as dangerous or unpleasant. When we avoid facing our fears, we are essentially allowing the ego to control our choices, thereby limiting the soul's ability to grow and evolve. The consequences of avoiding fear. When we avoid confronting our fears, we create limitations that can manifest in various forms. These limitations might appear as self-doubt, lack of confidence, anxiety, or even physical symptoms like tension and stress. Unaddressed fears can lead to a restricted view of life, causing us to avoid situations, people, or opportunities that we perceive as threatening. Over time, these fears can become ingrained patterns, shaping our beliefs about ourselves and the world around us. For example, a person who fears rejection may avoid forming deep relationships or pursuing opportunities that require vulnerability. This avoidance, while seemingly protective, ultimately limits their ability to experience love, connection, and growth. In this way, the fear of rejection becomes a self-imposed limitation, restricting the soul's capacity to experience the fullness of life. The role of fear in the soul's evolution. Fear, when understood and faced, can be a powerful catalyst for growth. In many spiritual traditions, fear is seen as a necessary part of the soul's journey towards enlightenment. It is through facing and overcoming fears that we are able to transcend the ego and align more closely with our true selves. The soul's evolution involves a process of remembering its true nature and shedding the layers of illusion created by the ego. Fear is one such illusion, often rooted in past traumas, societal conditioning, or false beliefs about our worth and capabilities. By facing our fears, we begin to dismantle these illusions, revealing the soul's inherent strength, wisdom, and love. Confronting fear, a path to liberation. Confronting fear is not about becoming fearless, but rather about developing the courage to face our fears and move through them. This process involves several steps. Acknowledgement. The first step in facing fear is acknowledging its presence. This requires honesty with oneself and a willingness to look at the areas of life where fear is holding us back. It involves recognizing the thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that stem from fear and how they impact our lives. Understanding the source. Once fear is acknowledged, the next step is to understand its source. This involves exploring the root causes of fear, whether they are related to past experiences, societal conditioning, or limiting beliefs. Understanding the source of fear helps to demystify it and reduce its power over us. Acceptance. Acceptance involves embracing fear as a natural part of the human experience rather than something to be avoided or suppressed. By accepting fear, we create space for it to exist without allowing it to control our actions. This step is crucial for transforming fear from a limitation into a catalyst for growth. Taking action. Facing fear requires taking action despite its presence. This might involve stepping out of one's comfort zone, challenging limiting beliefs, or pursuing opportunities that evoke fear. By taking action, We demonstrate to ourselves that fear does not have to dictate our choices or define our reality. Integration and reflection. After facing fear, it is important to integrate the experience and reflect on the lessons learned. This involves acknowledging the growth that has occurred and recognizing the strength and resilience developed through the process. Integration allows us to move forward with greater confidence and clarity, knowing that we have the ability to face and overcome future fears. The spiritual rewards of facing fear is a deeply transformative process that can lead to profound spiritual growth. When we confront our fears, we dissolve the limitations that prevent us from experiencing our true potential. This process not only liberates us from the constraints of the ego but also allows us to align more fully with our soul's purpose. On a spiritual level, facing fear can lead to greater self-awareness, inner peace, and a deeper connection with the divine. It helps us to cultivate qualities such as courage, compassion, and resilience, which are essential for our spiritual evolution. By facing fear, we learn to trust in the process of life and in our ability to navigate its challenges with grace and wisdom. Conclusion: embracing fear as a catalyst for growth. The fear you don't face becomes your limitation, but the fear you do face becomes your teacher. By embracing fear as an integral part of the soul's journey, we open ourselves to new possibilities for growth, transformation, and spiritual evolution. We learn that fear is not something to be avoided but a powerful ally on the path to self-discovery and enlightenment. In facing our fears, we transcend the limitations of the ego and step into the boundless potential of the soul, realizing our true nature as courageous, compassionate, and infinitely capable souls.